Crisman holds the position of Patel Professor of Environment jointly in the Patel Center for Global Solutions in the Biology Department, University of South Florida in Tampa. Prior to assuming that position in 2007, he was Professor of Environmental Engineering Sciences at the University of Florida for 30 years and Director of the Howard T. Odom Center for Wetlands for 11 years. In 1992, he was named Teacher Scholar of the Year, the highest honor bestowed on a faculty member at the University of Florida. His research focuses on the ecology, conservation, and management of subtropical and tropical wetlands, lakes, estuaries, and streams, and he has received over $11 million in research funding over his career. His current research is being conducted in Greece, Uganda, Dominican Republic, Costa Rica, and Florida. He has presented over 250 presentations at scientific meetings throughout the world and is the author of over 160 refereed journal articles, book chapters, and books. That was written by Dr. Crisman's mother. Dr. Crisman is very special, and we are very honored to have him here tonight. He knows water. He knows it technically, and he knows it adaptively. That makes him a leader in water issues in the country, in the state, the country, and the world. There are two aspects to leadership. One is technical. You have to know what you're talking about. But the more important part of leadership is adaptive. What do you do with change? How do you go with the flow? How do you change the flow? Dr. Crisman has proven over the years that he understands not only the technical aspects of water, but how to get things done. He understands how to negotiate, who to negotiate with. He understands how to get policy done. We're very honored to have Dr. Crisman here. Join me in welcoming Tom Crisman.
I wish I knew that guy. I will try to stay on schedule. I'm not Noel Brown. Noel Brown's a dear old friend of mine who called me on Saturday and said, guess what? I have a choice of being in Tampa or being in China, and guess what? I'm in China. Will you fill in? So I spent my weekend putting together some ideas. I have tried to work on water issues around the world with the idea that we're running out. Let me ask you a question. How many of you have either purchased or drank a bottle of water today? For shame, for shame. You're paying more for that per gallon than you are for Arab oil. Right? That's where we're starting. The world is going through a major transformation right now. That transformation is we're going from what have been a series of oil wars and getting ready for the next one, which is going to be a water war. And there are a number of places around the world. So what I would like to do, but not like to do, I have to do, is to take you on kind of a tour of the views of where we are with water around the world and try, where possible, to kind of give you a highlight of what's going on in Florida. But the rest of the speakers will be addressing Florida issues, and I can help with that. The world population has been steadily growing, but if you'll notice on the right-hand side, the amount of water available per person is going down. In the old days, we were concerned just with the amount of the quality of the water. Now you've got to find the water, and the water quality is probably going to be poor at the same time. Global water use is a north-south issue, where the north is using it primarily for industry. The south is using it just to exist and to have agriculture. One thing that's going to come and hit you over and over again, my examples are going to stress Africa, and I'm going to stress the Middle East. And these are the critical areas of the world right now for water usage, but yet we're not immune from some of the effects. South America is the most rich of the continents in water. They have the low population, but they have tremendous water. They have the world's largest wetland, which is about the Nile, which is in Brazil, and it's about the size of Florida. Massive size of communities. Look at the bottom. Asia and Africa are having the least amount of water per person. When I first went into Uganda after the revolution, one of the things that hit me immediately was the role of children. If a child is less than 5 years old, they have red hair, they have distended stomachs, all indications of malnutrition. Once they're 5 years old, they can schlep a jerry can. A jerry can is a plastic container of water. And their role, especially the girls, is to schlep water up and down, maybe 2 to 3 miles to the village. So this is, it really got me going because when I was a child, my father, who had a 7th grade education, came home from Chicago one day and said, he brought me a transoceanic radio, those Zenith things that had operated on 9 D-cell batteries, and the antenna would go halfway up to the top of this place. And he said, son, I'll never see the world. Go see it for me and give back. And so I'm still trying to do that. The percent of population in the world that has access to safe water, you're really blessed. You have safe water. But yet we're concerned about every day in the newspapers here some aspect about the overall quality of water and how it's not meeting our expectations. So look at Africa, look at Afghanistan, and look at Turkey and down through Israel, Palestine, and into Iraq. These are critical. Like, oh wait, look, where's the oil? But we're the most volatile places on Earth. It's where they have the least amount of water for their population. And so we had a thing with the Pew Center here several weeks ago that was looking at national security and the environment, climate change. One of the mantras that I've come with is that environmental instability breeds unstable populations, breeds strife. The last thing you want is for critical areas of the world to be under strife for simple things like water. It's not just surface water, it's groundwater. On the left is a lake that I've been working on for 10 years. It's in northern Greece, and it's called Lake Koronia. It's a World Heritage Site. It's gone from 4.5 meters of depth to 20 centimeters. Greece is now required to put it back the way it was because by treaty. Each of those dots is a well where they have a standing pipe and they're sprinkling for corn and cotton. This is a part of the world that's projected to be a desert in the next 30 years if they don't start using their water correctly. On the right is Costa Rica and Guanacaste province. Again, each of those dots is a well. They're drying up the whole landscape. This is the mantra around the world. And you'll see that over and over in my talk, and I'll point out that in fact, overuse of groundwater is something that is even more sinful than overuse of surface water.